Good morning. And welcome to the First Unitarian Church of St. Louis. I really shouldn't have to read the script for that. My name is Roz Cook. My pronouns are she, her, hers, and I am today's worship assistant. Welcome. We are glad you could join us, whether you're here in person or online, and I always wave at the people even though I know they can't see me. If you're a visitor or newcomer, we want to extend a special welcome. If you're here for the first time and you want us to know more about you, please fill out a newcomer form that you can find down in the lobby of the church. And if you're online, there's something you can do on the live screen. I don't know exactly what it is, but I'm sure you'll figure it out. And everyone who's here is invited to join us downstairs in the fellowship hall after church for coffee and donuts. And I think there's actually extra food down there today too. So we welcome families with children. They are welcome to connect with someone on the RE committee after the service for more information about our programs. And folks who are online, you can connect with each other in the chat, and there's a link for the virtual coffee hour. So this morning's announcements. This is the one I was thinking about. There will be food downstairs. There's a bake sale happening today, right after the service. It's for the First Church Community Fund. They support microgrants in our community. So go find your favorite goodies and enter the raffle to win some really excellent prizes. Coming up on Thursday, there is a Maundy Thursday Tenebrae service at 5:30 here in the sanctuary. It's a commemoration of the Last Supper. The service includes a roll call of the dead, so if you have a loved one who died within the last year and you would like them to be included as part of the service, please send their name and some information and a photo, if possible, to Lynn Hunt in our front office or to Sunday services at firstuustlouis.org. And please do that by Tuesday. Also, there will be no grief circle on Monday. It will resume again next month. And please join us next week for Easter. It is a multi-generational service. We are looking for readers of all ages to participate in the service, and if you're interested, please contact Steve. You want to put a hand up? Yeah, thank you. And finally, so much going on today. There's a newcomers chat today in the Dodson room at 1:30. So that gives you time to get some goodies and then come back upstairs. So 11:30? What did I say? 10:30? Yeah. 11:30 sounds better. Okay. We'll do it at 11:30. Thank you. All right. Please center yourself and prepare for worship. Thank you. Now, if I don't turn this off. Oh, why not? Welcome again to this religious community where we affirm the worth and dignity of all who enter. We gather in community, understanding we are all sacred beings, diverse in culture, experience, identity, and theology. Our values invite us to a shared journey of truth and meaning making. Together, we foster a spirit of gratitude and generosity so that all may feel welcome and all can thrive. We are so glad you are with us here this morning. This morning, Nick Page is stepping in for our organist, Alan Hoffman, who is ill. Nick will now play our prelude, Sonatina by Clementi.
Good morning. I am Annette Peterson, and my pronouns are she, her. Our Soul Matters theme for the month is joy. I invite you into worship with these words by Donna Markova. I don't think anyone finds joy. Rather, we cultivate it by searching for the preciousness of small things, the ordinary miracles that strengthen our hearts so that we can keep them open to what is difficult. While I appreciate the work of cultivating joy, I also don't want to limit how joy comes to us. So I'm not sure that I agree with Markova's opening thought that no one can find joy. I acknowledge that it may be difficult to find. For example, I went to Schnucks and Target looking for joy. I could not find it. I found Dawn, Palmolive, Cascade, and a host of other products, but I could not find joy. What I realized, though, is that I wasn't trying to find joy, I was trying to buy joy. So what I really learned is that joy cannot be bought. I do, however, appreciate Markova's thought that joy can be cultivated through attention to ordinary miracles. And so we are doing something a little different to help cultivate joy during this service. When you came in this morning, you received an index card, and we ask you to think of one of those small things that brings you joy and write it on that card so that we can read those later in the service. The index cards will be collected with the offertory, and if you didn't get one, you can get them from the ushers. And there are some pencils floating around, so if you need something to write with, you might turn to a neighbor and see if they can share. I invite you, as we worship this morning, to find joy, cultivate joy, ponder joy, or even drum up joy. Please rise as you are willing and able to join us for our hymn of the month, number 361, Enter, Rejoice, and Come In.
What brings me joy is writing. Our chalice lighting today, I wrote for my granddaughter's first day of school. First day of school. No matter what they tell you, let it be about joy. Let it be about the sacred self-surviving, thriving, shining its way to the wisdom within. Let it be about blooming, the unfolding of the universe through you, because the story of you begins 15 billion years ago with that first flash of being. At 4, you reached out your hand into the dark night and pulled back in wonder, a firefly blinking from your finger. Keep that magic, that both you and the firefly are one, everything connected, everything possible, made of stardust and moonshine, as we all are. Let it always be about your shining. Let it be about joy. Hi. So any of the other children or even adults who'd like to come forward for our Time for All Ages are welcome. Come on down. The story we are sharing today is The Little Book of Joy, written by His Holiness the Dalai Lama and Archbishop Desmond Tutu, and illustrated by Rafael Lopez.
One of us grew up in a little house.
One of us grew up in a big house.
Our houses were on the opposite sides of the world.
Often we were sad and lonely.
Both of us wished for a friend.
Sometimes the other kids wouldn't let us play.
Or they were very far away. We wondered if we would always be sad and lonely.
But when we sat still and breathed in the quiet,
We noticed something beautiful.
if you just focus on the thing that is making you sad, then the sadness is all you see.
But if you look around, you will see that joy is everywhere.
Joy is that warm, tingly feeling of the sun tickling your toes in the morning.
It's the giggly, squiggly feeling when you were doing something silly.
And it's the soft, snuggly feeling of being all wrapped up, cozy in your bed at night.
Even when you are caught in the rain and your joy is washed away, it's waiting at the bottom of the puddle.
Even if you slam the door and your joy can't get in, it's just on the other side, waiting in a loving hug.
And even if there is a loud noise in the night and your joy gets scared away, it comes streaming right back with the light of the silvery moon.
Joy is the bubbly, bouncing feeling of finding a good friend.
And once you let joy in, like magic, your heart always has room for more.
We discovered that the more joy we shared, the more joy we had.
And the more joy we had, the more joy we could share.
So look for the joy all around you and share it. Write it in a letter, play it on a drum.
Sing it to the sky.
It will travel up in the air, across the ocean.
Someone will find it and share it. And as it spreads from person to person, the world will fill with joy.
I wonder what brings you joy. What brings you joy?
Fortnite.
What is it?
It's
Fortnite.
It's
A game. A game. Okay. That brings you joy. What else? Anybody else? Your little stuffed animal? Ah, he's wrapped in a tortilla. What else? What brings you joy?
Money in a garbage, in a Lego garbage truck.
A Lego garbage truck. Yeah. Did you put it together?
Yeah.
Ah, that'll bring you joy. What else? You have anything? Maybe you find joy from drawing. Yeah. Anyone else? Joy of not going to school. Yeah, it's nice to have time off sometimes. Well, thank you for all your joys, sharing them. Do you want to talk about the? I don't think it's written in there. You were going to ask about. You want to go up? Okay. All right. She's going to say one more thing before we sing you out. Oh my gosh. I know. It's so hard, isn't it?
That's the way I'm feeling about it too. Oh my gosh. Like, oh my gosh, where'd the right page go?
Got to get past the story.
Oh, it was just a reminder for all the tall people and the short people to just write your joy on the card. And if you don't have a card or you don't have a pencil, I'm sure if you raise your hand, the
Raise
ushers
your
would
hand, yeah.
bring you one.
If you would like one.
Because they're nice that way.
Okay, well, they're out in the back. It's an index card. I don't think you can make an airplane.
Good morning. My name is Tom Finan, and my pronouns are he, him. Sometimes joy means digging down, finding hope, and sharing it with others. The writer Brian Doyle wrote, "All you can do is face the world with quiet grace and hope you make a sliver of difference. You must trust that being the best possible you matters somehow, that trying to be an honest and tender parent will echo for centuries through your tribe, that doing your chosen work with creativity and diligence will shiver people far beyond your ken, that being attentive and generous friend and citizen will prevent a thread or two of the social fabric from unraveling. This is what I know, that the small is huge, that the tiny is vast." On April 14th of 2020, 5 years ago tomorrow, I produced the video that you're about to see. It was the beginning of COVID. My friend Russ Moore had posted a song called "Someday Soon," a song for St. Louis for download. Russ, who stepped down a couple of weeks ago after many years as the music director at the Journey on Kings Highway, used his feelings about that moment to convey joy and hope. The download was a fundraiser for food service workers unemployed by the pandemic. I have been walking and running and cycling the paths of Forest Park for over 40 years. It occurred to me to take what I was seeing around the park in the early lockdown days and set it to Russ's music. Joy can be sharing hope in the worst of times. Mo, please play the video.
Someday soon, this will all be over. This will all be over. Someday soon, someday soon, we'll be getting together. We'll be getting together. Someday soon, we will gather round the table. We will laugh and we will sing while our children play together. Hear the music down the street. There'll be no more fear of sickness, no more suffering. Someday soon, someday soon, yeah, someday soon. Every prayer will be answered. Every prayer will be answered. Oh, someday soon. Yeah, someday soon. Every tear will be wiped away. Joy will come with a new day. Oh, someday soon. We will gather round the table. We will laugh and we will sing while our children play together. Oh, hear the music down the street. There'll be no more fear of sickness. Oh, no more suffering. Someday soon, someday. There'll be no more loneliness. Someday. There'll be no more fear, oh, yeah. No more someday. There'll be no anxiety, oh, no worries, someday. You and I will all be free, oh, someday soon.
The act of sharing our joys and concerns is an invitation to community, to support, celebration, and love. Now is the time in the service when we connect with one another by sharing our joys and concerns. We have caring thoughts and prayers are with Reverend Sabrina Trupia, whose mother is very ill. Our sympathy to Sue Hersberg, whose mother, Janet Petsch, passed away peacefully on April 1st. Our thoughts are with Alan, our musician, who's not feeling well today. We hold these concerns with tenderness and compassion. May they be lighter because they are shared. As a community, we also share our joys and our celebrations with one another. We celebrate two new members, Jennifer Whitaker and Laura Schuster. Someone says, I'm grateful for this beautiful community gathered here this morning. We lift up these joys with gladness and celebration. May they be magnified because they are shared.
With many joys and concerns remaining unspoken in our hearts and minds, please join me in a spirit of prayer and mindful attention with a body prayer. We have prayed with our words, and now we're going to pray with our bodies. I will walk you through all the motions, and then at the end we'll stand and do it 3 times at your own pace. So we start with just a deep breath. And let it out and feel grounded in the space you're in. And then we begin with an attitude of prayer, for we are all seekers. We lift up and out to the universe, to the great mystery that some people call God, to the creative flow of life. And we set an intention, or we ask for what we need, or we say thank you. And then we gather all the gifts that we were given back to ourselves and hold them for a moment. And then with all gifts, we need to give them back into the world. So it starts here, goes up and out, back down, and out. And you may stand as you are willing, or as you wish. Start with the breath, and in your own time. Blessed be, amen.
So these are my thoughts about joy this morning. Like some of you, I ran away from home once. I might have been a bit older, though, than some of you, around 22. It all started when I answered the phone one day, back before caller ID, rotary phones, the good old days, perhaps, and I said yes to a very odd proposal that was coming from a complete stranger. 1 week later, I found myself on a small organic farm on the coast of Maine, and I was trying to sleep after a very long first day of work, but it was too quiet. There were no city sounds, no traffic, no sirens, no loud voices, and I just couldn't fall asleep because it was too quiet. So I spent that whole summer learning how to milk goats, plant, weed, and harvest vegetables from the garden, shovel shit, literally, and feed all of the animals. I quickly discovered that donkeys are indeed as stubborn as people often suggest. I was literally transplanted from the city into this small town. My new look was overalls, a big hat, and dirt under my nails. It was a good look. And I was sleeping just fine after a few days. Farm life was the hardest work that I had ever done, physically and emotionally. I was learning new things every day, things they don't teach you in school, and things that to me seemed far more important to ordinary survival than anything I learned in college. And upon reflection, I realized that what fed me about this experience, it was that there was joy in creating something. This was a joy that I hadn't really known before. I wasn't an artist, an engineer, or even a really handy person in any way. If I broke something, it stayed broken usually. And so on this magical plot of land, I was bringing things to life. I was part of the creation. Until then, I had always been on the consumer end of things, what was on my plate, and really everything else in my life. So to me, there was an absolute magic in discovering firsthand the miracle of planting a seed and potentially harvesting a baseball bat-sized zucchini 2 months later, or so many tomatoes that you had to share them with all your neighbors. I found this passion quite by accident that continues to bring me joy. It led me down roads that were not on the original map of my life, not even close. It sent me to upstate New York, where I met my husband quite by accident. He was washing dishes in a cafe while the owner and I were trying to figure out how she could get more local produce into her kitchen. It led me to Arizona, where I taught horticulture to incarcerated men and women, and that's a whole sermon in itself. And now I've come full circle back to my hometown. So joy is not always where you expect to find it, and that might be the biggest surprise to me. That the things that give you deep pleasure may not be the things that people told you should make you happy. It is rare that I am consciously aware of those bigger life lessons as I play in the dirt, but I think it has seeped into me somehow. The joy is in the hard work and in sharing the bounty. The soil feeds me, literally and metaphorically, and reminds me what true abundance is all about. As you know, the First Unitarian Church of St. Louis strives to be a welcoming congregation, inspiring lives of loving kindness and integrity by nurturing spirituality, building community, and advancing justice. One of the ways we do this is by sharing the plate. This week, all of our non-pledge donations go to Gateway Housing First. And I was told the executive director is here today and will be in the fellowship hall after the service, so you are more than welcome to come talk to them.
Trees of green, red roses too, I see them bloom for me and for you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies blue, clouds of white, bright to stay the dark sacred night, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people passing by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I watch much more than I'll ever know. Think to myself, the colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people passing by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, baby, I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. What a wonderful world.
Pull it together here. Thank you so much. That was beautiful. We are grateful for your pledge donations today and for your contributions to Gateway Housing First. In the invitation today, we heard that joy can be cultivated by pondering the small things and ordinary miracles. So today, I want to thank those in the congregation that take care of the everyday running of our facilities. I learned this week that there was some trouble with the lock on the front door, and some of the members of the facilities committee worked together to make sure the facility was safe while the repairs are happening. Thank you, facilities committee, for taking care of small, big things. Joy is a choice. It is a deliberate, intentional practice and behavior. Joy companions us through hardship and trials. It connects us with meaning and purpose. It is an attitude of the heart that can share space with other emotions. Joy makes it possible to grieve without becoming overwhelmed by the grief. It makes it possible to confront injustice and division while remaining grounded, compassionate, and true to oneself. Joy is a transformative reservoir freely available within all of us if we choose to cultivate it. Joy transforms difficult times into blessings. It gives meaning and life to life. What I just read is a quote. Those are not my words, as many of you could tell. From the Restoring Connections website, an organization with a mission to unite diverse people for spiritual transformation and social justice. When I read this quote, I was struck by the realization that we have the ability to cultivate, grow, and harvest joy through our own practices. It isn't a whim, a fate, or some dumb luck that some people are joyful. It's a skilled practice that we choose to do, which brings meaning to life. Brené Brown, one of my personal heroes, a researcher, storyteller, and currently enraged Texan, has this to say from her work. I went into the research thinking that the relationship between joy and gratitude was that if you are joyful, you will be grateful. But it wasn't that way at all. Instead, practicing gratitude invites joy into our lives. The relationship between joy and gratitude was one of the important things she found in her research that she wasn't expecting. In her 12 years of research, with 11,000 pieces of data, she did not interview one person who described themselves as joyful who also did not actively practice gratitude. She said, practice is the part that really changed my life, that really changed my family and the way that we live every day. When she says practice gratitude, she didn't mean the attitude of gratitude or feeling grateful, but actual practice. Some of the participants in Brown's study spoke to her about keeping gratitude journals. Some of them did interesting things like at 12:34 every day, said aloud something that they are grateful for. But all who were joyful had some type of gratitude practice. UCLA Health shared the results of some gratitude research conducted in 2020, which doesn't mention joy as a result of gratitude practice, but does tout stress reduction, relief from depression, lower diastolic blood pressure, and better sleep. So if you need further motivation to begin a practice of gratitude beyond cultivating joy, maybe the lure of better for physical help will get you started. My apologies from the detour from joy, but as a physical therapist, sometimes I can't help myself. UCLA Health goes on to recommend these ways to cultivate gratitude. 1, take some time in the morning or evening to write down what went well. 2, the next time you hear yourself say thanks, stop and pinpoint exactly what you're thankful for. 3, if you feel frustrated in your day, stop and direct your thoughts to what is positive about the situation. And 4, send someone a quick note telling them that you are grateful for them. These are just a few ways that you can cultivate joy, and a quick internet search gave many more. But whatever you decide to do, please remember that joy is a choice, an intentional, deliberate practice. And I leave you with this final quote from Maria Popova. In this world, heavy with robust reasons for despair, joy is a stubborn courage we must not surrender. A fulcrum of personal power we must not yield to cynicism, blame, or any other costume of helplessness. And when the war within rages, as it does in every life, the practice of joy, the courage of joy, becomes our mightiest frontier of resistance. Amen. Blessed be, and may it be so. Our closing hymn is number 95, There Is More Love Somewhere. Please rise as you are willing and able.
gotta find the place. All right. So at this time, we will read the joys you shared with us, and please respond, "We share your joy," after each leader reads several cards. The leader will put the hand out, and you'll know to say, "We share your joy." So let's get it up there. My kids smiles and laugh, me. Texting from grandson who is a freshman in college. Thinking about my favorite fishing hole. A sunny day. We share your joy.
For grandchildren, for smiling faces, for a purring cat on my lap, and somebody's lucky here, for Carolyn. We share your joy.
We share your joy.
Prayer, tulips swaying in the breeze. My great-grandchildren, the blooming of crocuses.
We share your joy.
That my partner is so loving and accepts me, quirks and all. Bicycling in Forest Park. My partners, a flush 5-deck built with just the right jokers in Balatro? Sorry if I got that last part wrong.
We share your joy. Smelling flowers, a rainbow, singing, finding a lost object. We share your joy.
The joy of my first cup of coffee while watching bunnies frolic in my front yard. Being retired and having time to read. Blossoming trees and flowers and hummingbirds.
We share your joy.
Flowers, some peeking through the ground, others with hummingbirds and butterflies. Open hearts, toddler giggles, a walk.
We share your joy.
A good day of swimming and reading a good book. Sunrise, an ice cream cone, and a hug from my sweetie. My 5 beautiful grandchildren, and sunshine.
We share your joy. Learning a client I advocated for has received a utility grant. I do a happy dance in my chair. Dancing. My greatest joy is that my child turns 13 tomorrow and is far more self-aware and confident than I was at that age. Riding my bike. We share your joy.
Unexpected friendly interaction with a stranger. Growing plants and trees from seeds. Looking out my window to see large patches of violets. Gardening, and the joy of a great June and the chance to play it, tune and the chance to play it well.
We share your joy.
The beauty of blossoming spring, blooming trees and flowers, bird song and baseball. Spring, sunlight, beauty, sacred quiet, awareness. Roller skating. Music, friends, sunshine, nature, travel.
We share your joy.
Brilliant color all around this morning. Blue, green, blue sky, green leaves, something yellow, purple, and pink, yellow, purple, and red flowers. Loving someone, learning, watching my children learn, teaching others, personal growth, emotional or technical. My dear husband.
We share your joy. I'm grateful to have a partner in Chicago who loves me for who I am. My dog, Domino. My partners, wearing matching t-shirts. We share your joy.
Spring, the smiles of children holding hands. Watching the small children experience their world with wonder. Reading the words of God. Joy, blossoming trees and flowers, arrival of hummingbirds. Hummingbirds keep coming.
We share your joy.
A cardinal perched on a branch, my partners and music, waking up early to a cup of coffee and nothing to do all day. Possibilities.
We share your joy.
Battlehawk Challenge Pong. Grandchildren's smiles and hugs. Other people's laughter.
We share your joy. And the closing poem. Think of a time when you were truly yourself. That age before the mask was pulled tight, before the roles were welded like armor to your skin. Remember the one thing you loved above all else, that given perfect freedom, you could be found doing when they looked for you to do something else, something useful. The thing that made you feel whole and hopeful, full of something that lifted you out of yourself but anchored you home, so that you didn't know where that thing began, where you ended. So much were you in the river of it, the flow of hand to heart and heart to soul, that was all of one piece called you. You know what it is. Remember it. Hold it up like a shiny vintage ornament. Turn it to and fro. It is the true gift, just below your conscious thought, itching at you to touch it once more. Latch onto that feeling. Let the stillness find you and the wholeness bubble up from the bottom of your stone well. I wonder what you might do with it now. And please stay for the postlude. Then, as your final act of worship, turn and greet your neighbor.
Joyfully.